we'll have this discussion.
Discussion? What discussion?
This is a discussion combustion.
Coming to you from Denver, Colorado, this is Discussion Combustion Podcast with your hosts, Kevin Batstone and Arthur Raw.
Everybody, welcome in to another fantastic episode of Discussion Combustion. This is the time of year where we sit back, we're thankful, right? It's the time for giving as well. To be thankful and also to be giving at the same time. What does that mean to you? What does that mean to you, Kev?
You know, the holiday season's crept up us again. It's here. You know, it feels like it flies by. And, you know, every year we kind of get in this position. The holidays are here. We got Turkey Day coming up, you know, and so it's a time to reflect as we approach the end of 2021. You know, what does it mean to me? It changes year to year, man. I'm just thankful to be here. I'm thankful to be alive. I'm thankful to be breathing. I'm thankful to be here with you guys right now. You know, I appreciate all of y'all tuning into our show week after week. That's what I'm thankful for, man. I'm just thankful to be able to do this.
Absolutely, man. And that's such a great place to be at. I mean, I feel so blessed to be here as well. I love Discussion Combustion production and the studio space. Either way, you know, we could get on a long rant about that, but the fact remains that a lot of people are going to be spending this week with family members, hopefully, a lot of people that we haven't seen in a while, and members of your family that you might not share opinions with. So, you know, what's happening around the table this year? You know, like what are people concerned about this year? What are some of the hot topics, Kevin, that you think could be thrown around the Thanksgiving table?
I mean, look, I think it's endless when you look at the arguments and the discussions that take place around the holidays, right? You haven't seen your family all year long. Mm-hmm. You guys get together for a meal. You pour a little Chardonnay on there, maybe a little white Zin, and you get fired up, man. Those opinions start coming out. You know, you haven't seen this guy in a minute. He's fired up. He wants to poke your brain about this.
Okay.
But then, you know, your long-lost cousin who you haven't seen in a while, she's got something to say about it. You know, so here's the thing about Thanksgiving that I love is it brings the best and worst out of all of us, right? We're going to sit down and enjoy a nice hot meal together. But, you know, it seems to be a place where everybody, it's an open forum. It's like a podcast almost. Everyone sits down and does a little bit of talking. Well, I don't agree with you here. I don't agree with you there. And that's fun.
You know, and there's an importance to that as well, because within the art of the conversation, right, there's so many things that could happen in a conversation. For example, you know, somebody could say something that I don't agree with, that I might stand on an opposite belief to that thought process. But how you conduct and handle yourself also speaks volume, because if you can listen to and fully listen to somebody's perspective on an opinion or a subject that you have an opposite opinion on, if you could listen to it and actually give them the time of day to actually hear out their point, you might gain something from that. You know, because the last thing I want to do is be stuck in a conscious box of thought, and that way is the only correct way of thinking.
I mean, look, it's always good to challenge your beliefs and to share those with others. And usually the family members tend to get each other the hardest, right? Because these are people you're comfortable with, ones you love. You're more apt to get into those emotional debates than you would, say, a guy that you just sat down with on the train or the RTD, you know, whatever the case may be. So, you know, I think Thanksgiving has been one of those topics, and it's become a hot commodity of, like, for comedians to talk about. You know, hey, let's not talk about that around the turkey table. But at the same time, let's talk about that around the turkey table, right? You know, let's get our opinions out there. But to your point, respecting everybody's opinion, let's be civil about it, you know, all that kind of stuff. Because, man, in this day and age, people are getting fired up, man. They're flipping tables. You know, they get offended real easy. You're walking on eggshells a little bit. But when you're around the family, it seems like there's a little bit more leeway.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, what I would like to accomplish, not just during Thanksgiving, but in a long-run thought process, for, you know, lifelong thought process. And that would be to work on acknowledging when I get triggered, okay? Because I hear how people get triggered, like, oh, this subject is going to trigger me, or if X happens, then I'm offended, right? So, like, if that's where you're at, if you're getting triggered and you're getting offended over somebody else's different opinion, then I feel like you need to find strength internally, because once you find your internal strength and you're confident about yourself, the external inputs don't mean anything. They don't, because once you, like, look, once I realized I was an addict with opiates, and I made up my mind that, hey, I have an issue with this, and I need to actively work on it, you know, until then, like, I was ignorant about that fact. And so that could be applied in different areas. Like sure, you may have an opposite opinion, may have a different way of looking at something, but be sure within your own thought process. Because if you can hold that self-confidence and you can feel confident about yourself, then it doesn't matter what your uncle has to say. It doesn't matter what the 5 o'clock news has to say. It doesn't matter what the internet trolls have to say, because you have a foundation within your own thought process internally, self-sustaining. You're not going to get knocked off your pedestal if you're confident about yourself. So that's my challenge for the Thanksgiving dinner table. That's my challenge for life, is let's work on ourselves, take things less personally, and just be a little bit better, like, as far as self-confidence.
Yeah. That's good advice, Art. I mean, I know we were talking about that a little bit off mic too, just with the trying to understand this whole, really a sensitive time where a lot of people are very upset about a lot of people's opinions. And that's been going on for eons. Who's kidding who? Opinions and offensiveness is subjective, because it's all how you interpret it. And I think you hit on something that's really good there. If you're letting someone else's opinion affect your day, to a point where you feel emotionally distraught from it, maybe that's a good opportunity to look at, well, what am I doing? If I'm really going to let this individual's opinion, that's just what it is. It's an opinion, right? It's going to affect me emotionally. It's going to put me in a different mental state than I initially planned to come into. Maybe it's time for a reevaluation there. And I think that's, we're at a time where it's just so everybody does have an equal voice, and you have social media or sitting down in person. I feel like sitting down in person has become a little bit more aggressive now. It's people have become very comfortable with airing these opinions out via social media, via text message, what have you, behind a comforting screen, that when you sit down live action at the Thanksgiving table, you might see a different behavior. Maybe they won't react the same way until they get back home behind their comfortable screen again. But the fact remains, going back to your point, if you're going to let someone's opinion truly ruin your turkey and take it to
you're
where...
going to let that opinion overbake your turkey.
Yeah, I mean... Then it might be time to reevaluate why you're getting so upset. Because, look, I mean, sure, Arthur and I don't agree on everything. Hardly anything. But one thing we agree on...
We agree on more than
We agree on more than we don't. But the things we do
on.
disagree on, we don't let that dictate how... Look, we're still here, right? We got a job to do. And so I think that's where it's become... It doesn't have to be a showstopper. It's not the end-all, be-all. We don't have to shut the Thanksgiving dinner down. Keep the oven on at 375. Keep the turkey cooking.
So here's the thing. All right. So going back to this dinner and the potential tension that is building over differentiating opinion. All right. So that's okay. Like, let's just do that this year. Let's say it's okay if there's a different opinion on the table. Maybe challenge yourself to understanding and empathizing with some of the key points of that opinion. If it's completely outlandish and ridiculous and redundant, like completely bigoted or like, one-sided, then obviously it's okay to take a stand. But it's good to take a challenge too, and really challenge your own thought process. Like when's the last time you challenged your own thought process? When's the last time you thought to yourself, is what I'm thinking really the most beneficial thing that I could be thinking about to help myself maintain a progressive mentality? So let's do that at the dinner table.
Yeah.
Like even if there's a different opinion, let's allow that opinion to have its space. One area in life that I've needed to improve is interrupting. So let's improve there too. Let's use my weakness. Let's
That's a good
give
point,
people
Art.
room to talk.
Yeah, that's a good point, because when we're passionate about something, who's kidding who? We're all guilty of this, guys. You know, when you're in a heated discussion with someone, or just even a discussion you both agree on, it's easy to overstep and interrupt people. You know, that's it. It just is. I mean, it's naturally you want to get it out, and so maybe taking that extra 10 seconds, taking that extra breath to listen to what your counterpart is saying, to your aunt, to your uncle, your cousin, whoever's sitting around you. Somebody who you may have not seen for the last 2 years because of this pandemic, you know, really take time to listen to what these guys and gals have to say. You know, just
It's
take
so
it
true.
in. It goes a long way. You know, and everybody's opinion is valid, whether you agree with it or not, and whether you're offended by it or not. Everybody has an equal voice in my mind.
It's true. It's true. And look, I'm guilty of it just as much as the next man or the next woman, the next they. The thing is that when people talk, we automatically want to start putting ideas together. Like we're interacting with the conversation. So this happens naturally. And I see this happening all the time for myself. Even when you were talking there, you said something early on, and I'm like, oh, there's something perfect I can say right there. But it's not okay. All right. So just because you have something that would fit perfectly based upon that first phrase, sometimes you got to let people have their paragraph.
True.
You have to let people finish a complete thought, and that is more than one sentence, more often than not. And I've been so guilty of that, where I hear the first sentence, and I have information that I want to use, and you get excited to use it, and then you stop paying attention as much, right? Like you're thinking about what you want to say, and then so you try to remember what you want to say, and then you kind of forget what is being said. So let's hush ourselves, you know, and that's something that I've dealt with, and that's why I bring it up, because it's real. It's, you know, real experiences. Sometimes I need to hush myself and really attentively listen to that person, because you don't know what the conclusion of that paragraph will be. You come in on the intro and you start trying to like come up with rebuttals and stuff, but you didn't even listen to the conclusion. Like that makes you look ignorant.
And it's not an easy thing to do, Art. It just isn't. I mean, we've all been in that position, especially when there is passion behind, you know, some of the topics of discussion, or you know, really anything that is on the table. You know, it goes a long way when you can really sit back, listen to what whoever you're talking with, you know, let them finish their points, and that's where you typically see these. I don't want to call them debates or heated exchanges, right? That's where it happens, because somebody starts to speak over them and then they speak louder, and it's like, whoa, you're not hearing me, right? You can't teach that kind of stuff. It's just more so being aware of being in that moment. You know, we've all been there. You've been there. I've been there. We've done it podcasting. I've been in heated arguments, and I failed at most of them. I'll be honest with you. When it comes down to a heated emotional argument, I usually let that same thing I'm preaching right now of just taking a breath, listen to your counterpart, let them finish their points, and not focusing on that one piece that you want to fucking tear apart, because that's naturally where the mind wants to go. Well, wait a second, you said this, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, let me pull out my fucking microscope and only focus on that sentence. Like, how ignorant is that? I've been there. I've been ignorant like that. I've boxed myself into a conversation, and that's why I bring it up. You know, most of the things that I bring up on this program is because I am currently dealing with that as an issue, and so it's like a reminder myself. It's a reminder to myself, and most importantly, it's a reminder to myself. and if I could help, you know, send that out there, and because, you know, that's the thing, man, is everybody deserves respect. Every single person, no matter their opinion, no matter if they're racist, no matter their position, they all deserve respect.
I would agree with that.
Everyone's special.
It's true, man.
Everyone is special, and if you could have love in your heart, if you could look past a difference of opinion, and really have love and compassion for humanity, just imagine the impact that you're going to have, opposed to sitting here getting your feelings hurt about different opinions.
Yeah, it's true. It just seems like it'd be more productive to, you know, I don't want to say meet in the middle or give or take, so to speak, but just the respect piece that we talk about, just letting people's voices be heard. And granted, look, this could be a slippery slope, guys. I understand that there's two sides to every story, and there's a lot of hate that can be spewed, and I'm not going to advocate for that. But
Well, there's no time for hate.
no, there isn't. But,
Yeah.
you know, and that's where you kind of got to draw the line a little bit. Like, well, you can't just let everything be accepted and allow, you know, because free speech can go wild. I mean, you can organize hate and
Correct.
shit, right? So there is somewhat of a line. But at the end of the day, it still comes back down to just respecting each other's opinions and beliefs. You know, and I think that goes a long way when you can sit down and really challenge yourself to this, guys, because it's not easy to do. We all want to interject. We all want to say, well, that's not correct. Let me correct you here. Right. That's a natural thing when it comes down to a passionate topic. But the fact remains is when you really pull layers back and you can respect everybody at the table, everybody's got an equal voice, man. Whether they're factually incorrect, whether it's something that offends you, whether it's something that's completely inaccurate, they still have a voice. And I think that voice should be heard.
Yeah, and that is a 100% fact. You know, even if it's a voice that is preaching something that is counterproductive toward human, like whatever it is. All right, they're just saying stuff that honestly is a waste of fucking time. Okay, so let me just say it frankly. You know, but the thing is, they still have passion about that. That's still a person that's speaking about something that they have passion about, that they care enough about to try to influence their peers with that information. You know, so there's like that fine line where it's like, yeah, you still have to have respect, but not necessarily for the subject of what they're talking about, but the person who is saying it.
Right.
Because everybody deserves respect. Everybody deserves love. So regardless what's happening in your family dynamic around the table this holiday season for Thanksgiving, let's give a little passion and let's give a little love. You know, we don't have to agree. You don't have to agree. But you can still have compassion and love in your heart even if you don't agree. And if you approach somebody that you disagree with loving compassion, even though you disagree with them, that's going to create a much stronger impact than reacting
So true.
with your counteractive opinion. It's okay if you guys disagree, but how do you handle the disagreement? And you can't always depend on the other person to be mature through the disagreement. So if you're willing to take up the responsibility to show compassion and love even in a disagreement, then that's the road you need to walk, and you need to stay humble.
Yeah, that's well said for sure. Because, I mean, look, a lot of these situations are unpredictable. Unless it's someone you've been around a long time. Like, obviously, you and I know how to debate a situation, right? We know each other well enough. Someone you haven't been around, maybe you haven't seen these guys in a couple of years.
Yeah.
You know, that could be a roll of the dice. But the fact remains, at the end of the day, the mission statement is still that. Respect, you know, equal voices, all of it. And that's the holiday spirit, man. That's the thing. Let's not forget, we're getting together because it's a, you know, regardless of what Thanksgiving stands for, you can pick that thing apart and say what it stands for you. But look, this is a holiday that's become a tradition to have a meal with loved ones, friends, whoever, you know, everybody's welcome kind of thing. You're sitting down having a little bit of turkey, mashed potatoes. That's what it is. You're having a delicious warm meal. You know?
Taters.
I love taters.
I mean,
Let me ask you this. Are you a yams guy?
hey, I like yams. I like yams. Don't get me wrong, but yams are great. Okay.
Sweet potato.
I love yams. Okay, so to answer your question, yes, I love yams. But the thing is Thanksgiving complete without mashed potatoes on the table?
That's a great question, Arthur. And I think that for me personally, because I'm going to answer this in my opinion, I need mashed potatoes.
I need mashed potatoes.
You know, they're just such a crucial ingredient to the Thanksgiving meal.
It's epic.
So epic. So epic. And they're so simple, right? These great, you know, ground hitters that was blessed upon us.
These great ground hitters? What do you mean? What do you mean?
These russet hitters that come out of the ground.
Russet?
Yeah, russet potatoes, bruh. Russet taters. That's what I picked up for my mashed potatoes this year. And, they're the most common.
All right. Okay, so here's the next question. Skin or no skin on the mashed potatoes?
All right. So, mashed potatoes, no skin. Baked potato, obviously skin.
Oh, come on.
What?
Okay, I agree to a certain extent. And if you're going to put the skin in the mashed potato, it's like if you're looking at a full potato, all right, you got a full potato. You're using maybe a fourth of the whole skin for that potato, all right, if you're putting it in the mash. I like a little skin in the mash, but traditionally it's cooked without.
Look, I will eat mashed potatoes with the skin, no problems at all. Because I love potatoes, man. I'm one of those guys. Living on a diet or living on a tight budget. Not a diet. Look at this belly. Living on a tight budget. Potatoes, like a sack of potatoes, ramen, tuna fish, right? Simple stuff, and not even really cooking it some of the time. Back in the old school days, just taking a sack of taters, peeling it with a knife and or peeler, and just eating that shit. Crunchy.
I've had raw potato before, but I can't say that like I had a whole raw potato before, like what you're talking about. I've never done that.
I never necessarily completed the entire potato, but it was still a good starch carbohydrate, in the system. When you're living
I'm
tight,
not doubting the substance. All right, it's definitely substantial.
better cooked.
It is better cooked. See, this is what just happened. Is I had one of those early thoughts. Kevin was starting his paragraph, and I had an early thought, and I was like, "Oh, this would fit perfectly." But then I shut up and I kept listening, and then it would have still fit perfect, but now I forgot it.
Well, I'd like to ramble on a little bit more about mashed potatoes while
please.
you think about it.
No.
Because, I grew up doing candy yams, which is great.
Okay.
Mom used to make candied yams. Is it candy yams or candied yams? Mom, you're going to have to correct me.
Candy yams?
Or candied. Because you got
yams.
candied bacon, right, which is a sweet sugar essence to a bacon.
It's probably
That's
candied
bacon.
It's probably candied.
So I think it's candied yams. So a candied sweet potato. For sure. I mean, you could say candy yams. The fact remains, it's a sweet potato dish with a little bit of marshmallows melted on top. It's a great dish, okay? I'm not going to lie.
I think most people have had that. If you haven't, candied yams.
Some people don't like yams, though. I mean, sweet potatoes is a hot commodity that some people are like, I don't like that.
Well, maybe you need to start telling yourself something different.
Or just give it a try. I mean, it's not for everybody. It's not going to be on my Thanksgiving plate here on Thursday. I'm doing a pretty traditional, meal this week. The classic turkey.
Can I guess what else is on the traditional?
Yes.
All right. So you said turkey.
Of course.
Okay. There's obviously going to be mashed potatoes. We just covered that.
Yep, we did.
All right. There's some kind of corn. Creamed corn? Corn on the cob?
I'm not seeing corn on there.
No corn. All right. I love a creamed corn casserole with bacon in it on Thanksgiving.
Delicious.
It's
Not
so
a bad
good.
dish.
Okay, so that's not on your list.
For this year.
Okay, so we have – I'm missing the greens. So –
Green bean casserole.
Yeah, green bean is what I was going to say.
You got to have the green bean casserole, bro.
I was going to say
with
green
the
bean.
Frenchies fried onions on top.
Oh, yeah,
Are
that's
you with
delicious.
it? Are you with the green bean casserole?
I'm with it.
It's so good.
I'm with that. Come on, man. Who's not with that?
It's so good.
If you're not with that, then I can't get with that.
Some folks don't like the green bean casserole. I'll tell you what, it's delicious.
Look, and yams are delicious too. You got to at least give them a try. All right, so you had your turkey, you had your mashed potatoes, you had your green bean casserole, you had your yams. You're going to do the yams.
Those are on the chopping block because you already got mashed potatoes. So do we
No, but
need
yams the dessert.
It could be if you want to look at it that way because
Yams are kinda sweet.
There's still the apple pie for dessert.
I mean, I want the pumpkin pie.
Well, pumpkin pie is good too. I mean, that's a great pie.
I'm going. All right.
That's a tough matchup.
All right.
Pumpkin versus apple.
Would you rather?
Okay.
Would you rather, for the rest of the Thanksgivings forever, only be able to eat pumpkin pie or apple pie for your pie selection?
Quick answer.
Apple pie?
If it's my mom's.
Are you going apple pie?
If it's my mom's apple pie, because mom makes the best, She puts the stencil in there, and she does all the cool stuff. Mom makes the best apple pie.
Of course she does.
It's Mom's apple
Mama
pie.
makes the best.
So good.
Mommy made.
If it's Mom's apple pie, I'm going Mom's apple pie
Okay.
for eternity.
Okay, well, that's your answer.
If it's not Mom's apple pie, I'll do the pumpkin.
Oh, it's that good.
Oh, you never had Mom's apple pie? Mom, I know
Mom.
you're listening right now.
Mama.
Art needs to try your apple pie. It's epic.
I need to try it. I need to try this apple pie. I hear it's epic.
It is epic. I mean, look.
Look, like Kevin can bring it. Just pack him a to-go Tupperware it. Do you put ice cream on it?
I think that's
Underneath it?
It's one of those things
That's
like
a cheat. I have to try it by itself. If it's that good, like I got to try it by itself.
and then put the apple
I,
or
I,
the vanilla.
I will not ruin the first bite by putting ice cream on it. I promise, Mama.
Yep. You got to taste that OG Mama Batstone hitter, and then, if you volunteer to put vanilla ice cream on there, I know Dad probably does that, but I'll tell you this, man, that's good. That's good apple pie.
Oh, I can't even deny the fact. Okay, I already know it's good. All right, but I'm going pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie is delicious.
I love pumpkin pie, and it's probably mommy made, Mama made.
That's the best.
That's the best product.
Mama made.
That's the best line. Pancakes. How my mom makes them. I mean, come on, like what's up with that? From childhood, this is what's up with it. Is we eat it so young and we're conditioned because it's so delicious and like it evokes. So whenever we have like our home cooked meals on Thanksgiving, that family traditional home cooked meal, it truly brings us back. It does.
It does.
It does. And that's why we love it so much. That's why it's so good. That's why those leftovers, nothing compares.
Nothing compares, for sure. Now, we had, Chef Cody on over the summer, and he talked about Thanksgiving. He's like, everyone wants turkey sandwiches the next day. He's like,
True.
fuck that. You ever had a waffle iron?
Yeah.
He throws all that shit
on.
in there. What are we going to do with that information?
Buy a
This year.
waffle iron. Let's put it in the community kitchen here in our office space. So anyone can make waffles as long as you have the supplies. And let's go be brave in that kitchen with the leftovers.
You can do a lot with turkey and Thanksgiving sides. I mean, it's just, there's so much food happening. And that's what's cool about it, too, is it's like family traditions. One of the other things that I grew up on was kapusta. And because I grew up in a Polish background.
Now, Kevin, tell me, what is kapusta?
I will tell you what kapusta is, man. Coming from a Polish upbringing, I used to love going down to Florida, New York, man. We had a lot of Polish family down there.
Florida, New York.
Yep,
Okay,
I know. It's
I
kind of
work in
contradicting.
I work in logistics. I've never heard of that one.
A little bit north of Goshen, New
Okay.
York. Probably about 45 minutes to an hour outside of the city.
Okay.
And great place. A lot of family down there. And, Mom's got some roots down there to our Polish heritage. And we'd go down there to Aunt Millie's house. Good old Aunt Mill. And, kapusta is just a great dish. It's simple. It's
Okay.
simple. It's kibasi, as we say in the Polish side. Most folks know it as kielbasa, right? Sauerkraut, onions. Some people like to make it into a casserole, so you can do different shit with it. But those three ingredients, you need kibasi, sauerkraut.
What is kielbasi?
It's a Polish sausage.
Okay.
You probably know it as kielbasa, right? I'm sure you've heard it that way, Art. Don't tell me you haven't heard of Polish sausage.
I've heard of pulling some sausage.
Oh, but that's what it is.
I'm fucking with you. No, it sounds delicious.
Oh,
That
it's so
sounds
good.
delicious.
Look, but you got to like sauerkraut, you got to like onions, and you got to like
I
Polish
like all that.
sausage.
I like all
if
that.
those three things work for you, then you'll like kapusta. And this was one of those dishes that we kind of had a little bit untraditional on the Thanksgiving table.
Okay.
But growing up, it was like we had to have kapusta. And now that I'm thinking of it, I'm probably going to have to bring that to the table on Thursday.
Okay, so that sounds like a great addition to your table. I'm super excited for you. I would actually be honored if you could potentially next Tuesday bring me some leftovers from your Thanksgiving. Look, and for doing that, I will also bring my mama made stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so we're doing that. All right. So
I'm in.
My Thanksgiving waffle. All right. This is what I'm putting in it, okay? Listeners, what would you put in your Thanksgiving waffle? I'm putting the Thanksgiving waffle. Okay, mashed potatoes is definitely going in there. There has to be some cheese in there too. All right, some cheese, mashed potatoes. All right, that's going good. I want the corn. I want corn that was either on the grill. I want the corn that was from the corn casserole. I want that corn in there too. All right, and hopefully within that corn casserole, there's also going to be bacon. So I want bacon in my waffle and or ham. Okay. All right, so bacon or ham, corn, cheese, potato. I would like some carrot in there. Okay, I want a little bit of carrot for my breading. I want to use the crusty onions from the kapusta. Okay,
No, not the crusty onions.
the onions on top.
No, you mixed up a couple dishes here, Art. The French fried onions go on the green bean casserole.
Okay, I'm mixing up things. It's a waffle. It's okay.
And they're not crusty.
We're supposed to be mixing up this waffle. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Kevin.
I just had to straighten you out there.
I thought I was listening.
You were listening. You had the right idea, but they were never crusty in either dish.
I was picturing like the onions that are like, crispy, the crispy
French
onions.
fried onions. That's
That-
what
that
goes
go on top. Those are crispy.
They're not crusty.
No, I meant crispy by crusty.
Okay, well,
That's a horrible word to describe food with, is crusty.
yeah, it's not a good description.
Let's remove that.
But that's the green bean
we don't do edits.
casserole.
We don't do edits here, so that's going to stay regardless. All right, and I feel like that's almost completing the waffle. It needs one more ingredient, and it's going to be a little bit of gravy.
Because you have to have. I was thinking the same thing. You're not going to put mayonnaise or any of that typical shit on there. So you need something to lubricate the sandwich. So it's got to be gravy. Now, are you going to go traditional turkey gravy? Are you going chicken gravy? Are you going what kind of gravy?
I want the gravy that my mom makes. the one that okay, so it's a darker gravy. It's not a light covered gravy. It's not white. It's grayish.
So it's made from the turkey juices, right?
Yes.
That's the best way to make the gravy. That's what I watched Mom doing it growing up.
Oh,
We
wait.
would
And stuffing has to go into that.
Oh, stuffing.
Into the waffle.
Crucial ingredient.
Yeah.
You have to have stuffing.
With sausage in it.
Do you think the sausage has to be in the stuffing?
I think stuffing is better with sausage.
I mean, it's good. It's good either way. That's tough to say what's better. It just depends on how you want to build this concoction.
Well, what's your Thanksgiving leftover waffle? What's going in yours?
I mean, pretty similar to I think everything you described. I mean, you got to have the basics, right? Stuffing is obviously a great filler.
Okay, so
it's
stuffing.
It's just such an important component. You put stuffing and mashed potatoes together, you have such a thick base already, something to really gnaw on, right? You could shred your turkey, right? If you got some turkey leg, you got some turkey breast left, you could shred that up so it's a little bit easier to chew on. You're not getting those big chunks, so you mix that in there in that waffle. You got to lubricate it with the gravy. My mind almost thought cranberry sauce.
Gravy goes on at the end, though.
It does.
You don't put
because
that
it's
in
a
the
sauce.
waffle.
No, you don't put it in the waffle.
Yeah.
That's definitely a topping.
Okay, so that's topping.
Because I was thinking because a lot of folks like to do cranberry sauce on their leftovers. Cranberry sauce is delicious. I don't know if I need it.
Look, cranberry sauce.
I don't think I need it.
When they open up the can and the cranberry falls out, that shit's good. I don't care.
Oh, it's delicious. I love cranberry sauce. I like it jellied and I like it whole. Both options are tremendous. But when it comes to the leftover,
Fantastic.
I don't know if I want it on my leftover waffle because we're building this Thanksgiving waffle.
A piece of the waffle, because your waffle comes in fourths. All right, so for my toppings, I'm doing cranberry on one, I'm doing gravy on the other, and on the third, I'm throwing your traditional fucking syrup. All right, I just want
Syrup?
Yeah, I just want to try it, like your Miss Buttersworth, your fucking maple syrup. Yeah, we're trying that, sweet and savory, baby. What's the fourth topping?
The fourth topping, I think, if I'm going to tie my Polish heritage to it, I could do a couple things. All right, red beet horseradish is also a great thing that we like to incorporate.
Red beet horseradish.
Not just regular horseradish, red beet horseradish. I know what Mama, But
I want to know.
dude, I'll tell you this: red beet horseradish is fantastic.
I don't think I've had that.
So good. But it's not for everybody because it's very alarming and it's got a very intense taste to it. And it can throw off your whole meal if you're not careful.
Yeah, if you overwhelm, like you have to do it like you do wasabi on sushi. Like you just do a little bit.
Correct.
It goes a long way.
It goes a long way.
Okay.
But you also have to accent the right things with it because you can't just
true.
smear red beet horseradish on it. It's going to
So
be
is
great.
that the fourth topping on the waffle?
It's
The
an option.
Thanksgiving leftover waffle?
It's an option. It just depends on how well we want to construct this thing. I really feel like gravy is going to be the best topping.
Okay.
At the end of the day, if we're going to make this a Thanksgiving, no matter what you put in it, turkey gravy on top, I feel like is going to be the best condiment.
I can't wait. We have to buy a fucking a waffle press
Yes.
before next week, dude. I will pay for it. I don't care, dude.
It's affordable.
We have to do that. We have to do it.
I think it's a good option. I mean, look, we talked about it with Chef Cody over the summer from Hell's Kitchen. He's like, look, he basically redefined some of the ways we look at. Everyone wants turkey sandwiches, which are great, right? They've stood the test of time. Turkey sandwiches are a fantastic leftover, but a Thanksgiving waffle?
I know that. I mean, the turkey sandwich. Look, in that we're trying to accomplish the same thing that we're accomplishing within the waffle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, like you're just trying to recombine things and put it together to give the palate a splash. And what better way to fucking fry it in a waffle pan? I mean, Cody, come on, Cody, come on, you're the man.
I mean, look, it's just a perspective I would have never considered when it comes to your Thanksgiving leftovers because we're all used to turkey sandwiches and the usual suspects, and it's fun to think outside the box, and that's what's cool about doing what we do in my Polish heritage with kapusta and some different dishes. I like trying all that stuff. I'll tell you this too. I like water chestnuts. Water chestnuts. They're I feel like they're almost tasteless. They're a little bit more of a texture thing.
Yes.
Right? So they add a dynamic to the dish, whether that's a bacon wrapped situation or what have you.
So water chestnuts and Thanksgiving dishes.
They're
is
doable.
what you're saying.
Yeah, but they're
because,
doable.
Because the water chestnut really reminds me of a really good like chicken salad wrap or one of those where they like give you the chicken and the lettuce and you basically just put chicken on lettuce and eat it.
Yeah.
The water chestnut reminds me of that. And it's so refreshing. And
so good.
I don't know if I've really I like where your head's at. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think water chestnuts can add a good texture to if you sliced them up, they probably could go in stuffing, but I feel like water chestnuts are probably more fit in a different type of dish. They pair well with a bacon or ham or something like that. Like you could make a pretty cool dish with a water chestnut. I just feel like it adds a nice texture to the dish.
I can see that, especially like finely chopped. Like if you did like little pieces, because some people will go wild and do like the bacon wrapped jalapeno cream cheese bites and that's so good, and that could be Thanksgiving. And if you did a little bit of water chestnut on there, I could see that kind of making it pop a little bit. It's like putting cucumbers on stuff. It's so good, man. It's so good. I'm excited for the holiday. I'm really excited for Thanksgiving and time to share with my family and my family's closest peers and friends. We're all thankful, man. And I think that's one of the biggest things is finding something to have thanks for, Like, it's so easy to complain. It's so easy to find something to bitch about and, focus on the problems of the world and how it's unfair right now. But what is that really doing? What are you thankful for? What are you thankful for this year?
It's true, man. Yeah. I mean, focusing on the things that matter. Focusing on the things that matter. And that's subjective, and it's going to vary person by person. And people have different passionate things that they feel matter to them. And that's, a good time to really evaluate what's going to benefit me right now? What's going to benefit me in my life and my family and the people around me? What can I do differently? Starting with being thankful for the people that are around you and the great things that you've experienced this year. Coming from that base of thankfulness, right, is something that is a good place to start, I feel like, because when you can appreciate the simple things, the sun coming up, a roof over your head, a nice hot meal, those simple things, being thankful there. I know it sounds cliche, but it's true, man.
Well, let me open up a little bit, man. I'm gonna get a little personal right here, because this is DCPC, man. This is what we do here. This happened like a couple weeks ago, like 2 to 3 weeks ago. My current circumstance is that I am like 11 months sober from opiates, and I am like 2.5, 3 months sober from a toxic relationship where I was also being toxic. And how I'm tying this in is I was taking a moment to be thankful, right? Because there's so much I could bitch about. There's so many things I could complain about. This didn't work, or man, I wish I would have been different back in the day on this, or if only this had happened differently. Those kind of questions hit all of us, right? So to be thankful, right? And truly dive into the thought of being thankful. And these are some of the things that hit my mind, I'm thankful for the opportunities I have. Like I'm thankful for my ambition. Like, let's compliment ourselves. Like, let's give ourselves a pat on the back. Like, I'm thankful for my ambition. I'm grateful for my friends, like Kevin, like, my peers that I've looked up to. I'm thankful for that. And then the part that really hit me, and I'm not going to ramble too long. I know I like to do that. But the part that really hit me was I'm thankful for my struggles. And dog, I swear to God, I was like looking outside, looking at the horizon, and just like I thought about that, and it still strikes a chord, because to be thankful of what is hard for you, what's difficult, and to be thankful for that, because through that struggle, you will define strength, right? Through struggle is strength, right? So, I'm just keeping it real on here, folks. And that's where it hit me. Like, I'm thankful for my struggles. I'm thankful for having an addiction. I'm thankful for all my ex-girlfriends and everything all of them taught me. And from there, that's where you can build. So I know we're talking about Thanksgiving and being thankful about, what we have this season and stuff. But, like, it means so much more to have a thankful mentality on a regular basis. Thanks for giving me room to talk on that, Kev.
No, that's good stuff, man. That speaks, it echoes a lot of good points. That, just because it's, a Thursday in November, you don't have to just be thankful at this point in the year. And it's a good reflection on, hey, look, it's a good reminder that we're going to get together and have a meal and be thankful for things. But, man, we can do this thing every day. It's like Valentine's Day. You don't just need one day out of the year to express love for your friends and family. And so I think that was a good point, Art, for sure, and good things to open up on. Be thankful for the struggles, because without failures and struggles and tough times, the experiences that follow from that wouldn't necessarily manifest. And so it's important to be thankful for those things, I feel like. And it's a mindset thing, Not everybody is necessarily going to look at it that way, but it's a great way to break down how we got to where we're at right now. You look at, we can be bitter. This relationship sucked, or this job sucked, or my car broke down, right? But I'm thankful for those opportunities because it gave me the opportunity to learn and grow. And that's something to be thankful for, and I like that perspective. Thanksgiving doesn't necessarily just need to be, or being thankful doesn't just necessarily need to be about all of the great times. We talk about it all the time. Let's talk about the bad times too. And let's be thankful for those bad times. Let's be thankful for the rainy days. Let's be thankful for the arguments and the times that maybe we got upset and didn't behave the way we wanted to be. Let's be thankful for those.
Preach it. Man. We're all imperfect, all right? Every single human being myself, especially Kevin. I'm fucking around. Nah, but I mean, that's the thing is like, look, it's important to take things seriously and have emotional weight behind circumstances and have emotional weight behind a significant moment. You know, like modern man here. Like let's get it off our chest. Like it's okay for people to be emotional. Man, woman, he, they, you know, whatever you identify as. How I want to really end this is just find strength. Find strength within yourself. Like find it. Like find your strength. And what I mean by that, like some stranger's opinion ain't gonna knock me off my horse while I'm riding. Find strength. Like this person's negative outlook on whatever subject isn't going to determine my energy for the rest of the day because I find strength. You know, that's what I mean. Like let's really find it and find strength in weakness. Like let's admit to our weakness. Let's admit where we're weak. Like let's find strength in pinpointing where we're weak. And then there we can build. Like there's strength in everything. And we all have the power to find strength.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Everyone's capable of it, you know. And, you know, our good friend John Rinke, who was on the show last week, I really liked the way that he ended the episode with, be true to yourself. Because as simple as that sounds, right, when you really dissect what that means, it ties into what we're saying. Because when you're true to yourself and you acknowledge within yourself what you believe in, what you stand for, what you admire, what you aspire to do, what your goals are, when you are true to yourself with what all of that means to you, you can then make the next step in how you treat others and how you want to, you know, portray yourself to the universe and attract the people you want to surround yourself with. Until you're true to yourself and you recognize within yourself what you want out of this life, everything else is just kind of a dance. You know, it's just kind of a thing that you just follow along with, a script, right? Be true to yourself, man. That spoke such volume to me last week, and I think, you know, being thankful for yourself. Own yourself. Be yourself. Let it rip, because that's the biggest thing. Don't try to please other people, you know. It's not authentic. It's not you. Be you, and you're going to shine.
Man, I'm telling you, I need to have these conversations. Like, you know, I hope people out there listening in to this discussion combustion thing. I mean, Kevin and I have been doing this for a while, man. This is a ritual for us. We let loose. I mean, shit, I've been drinking that tequila for a minute tonight already. I mean, so, you know, I got my heart on the sleeve, but it's the truth. Like it's a waste of time for us to sit here and be so critical about other people. Like, you want to sit here and think about how that person's doing that. Pfft, oh my gosh, that's so 2000. Or like, you know, oh, they're doing this. Like, I can't believe they're hanging heavy to the left or the right. Like, get your head out of your ass. All right? Like, that's how I feel. Like, why am I letting other people's problems dictate my life, dictate my day? And that's how I'm rolling it back to what Kevin said, what John Rinke said. Be true to yourself. You know, if you're true to yourself truly, then other people's opinions aren't going to knock you off of your horse. Other people's opinions aren't going to slow your stride because you know what you want to do. You have the vision, and it doesn't matter what external things come at you because internally you know what to do next. And I feel like there's so much strength there, and that's where I want to be. That's where I'm striving to be. Kevin, I got to give it up to Kevin. You know, I was sick last week, you know, and I couldn't beat it at the studio, and we were busy. We're busy up in DCP, and my boy held it down, and we did a fantastic production. Everybody should check it out. It's Amy Lewis's Live at 5. She used to do reporting, and she is now pursuing other things in life. And it's a story. It's a short mini podcast series.
So good, man. I mean, it really just captures such a great emotion of what it's like being on the front lines as a reporter, and some of the struggles that go behind it, and some of the success that comes behind it. So fortunate to be a part of that Discussion Combustion production. We were just so fortunate and blessed to be included in that. It's a fantastic project. It's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. Soon to be everywhere.
Live at 5.
Live at 5 with Amy Lewis, guys. Check it out.
Definitely.
We got some stuff coming too. Metal Red with Fred Farrell,
Yep.
man. That's going to be tremendous.
Hey, we got projects, and that's because Kevin and I believe and achieve. We let a rip, tater, chip. Like, we don't turn it off once these cameras turn off, man. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep hustling. We stay on video calls. We stay on conference calls. Like, we're constantly brainstorming. And that's what I want everybody to do. Like, let's brainstorm through any dinner issues during Thanksgiving. Let's brainstorm through our own issues. Let's be real. Let's be honest with ourselves, though, too. And, like, let's be vulnerable. Let's all be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be weak. It's okay to be emotional and have your feelings hurt and feel sensitive and feel emotional. That's all okay. But how you handle those emotions, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that energy?
That's true, man. And it's rewarding sometimes to feel those emotions, to feel offended, to feel a little bit off kilter. Those emotions are meant to be felt because it helps you reevaluate. Well, okay, now I feel this way about it. Let me analyze that. Right? What am I going to do with that energy, with that feeling that I'm feeling right now? What am I going to do with it? What's my response? You know, and that's up to you to decide. But being good to yourself and being good to the people around you, you know, you're never going to go wrong doing that. That's the most important thing. Have respect for yourself. Have respect for others. And I'll tell you this, Thanksgiving season, I'm really looking forward to sitting down, having some turkey. You know, it's been a great year. It's been a tough year. We're coming out of the pandemic year. And, you know, it's good to just really reflect on the good times, you know, and enjoy some turkey and some pumpkin pie or some apple pie. And, you know, that's really what I'm focused on this week. And, you know, I appreciate everybody. I appreciate all you tuning in, all your feedback. You guys are great. I believe in every one of you. Everyone listening right now, you are capable of so much.
So much.
So much. Untapped potential. Think about it. Tune into yourself. Challenge yourself. Make it difficult. Take a risk, you know?
Man, this is what I needed, okay? I needed this. Y'all needed this. All right, we're going to be back at you. You know we're coming back at you. All right, if you are in a position at all this holiday season to help another family, if you could donate some, you know, canned goods or volunteer some time, you know, it's a great time of year to give a little, but the main thing is when you give, don't expect to receive. You just give because you can, and that feels better than anything. It's totally worth it. I guess my closing line will be that I just got a lot of love for everybody, man, and even the people who are in the darkest places. You know, I got love for y'all too, but let's be good to each other. Let's be good to ourselves, and let's be true. Even if it's the hard truth, even if it's the hard thing to do because it's the right thing to do. Let's do the hard thing for the right reason.
I'm with it, man. You know, let's do it for the right reasons, for sure. And, you know, like we did last year, guys, I'd like to echo a point we did last year. You know, heading into the holiday season, obviously you're going to be hearing this on Thanksgiving. You know, if anyone listening or, you know, anyone that you know that's in tough times right now, please reach out. discussioncombustion@gmail.com or any of our social media platforms. We are glad to help provide a holiday meal. You know, I know it's a little bit tight for Thanksgiving, but maybe for Christmas or the month of December, whatever. You know, it's the season of giving back and you know, the spirit of you know, just spreading cheer and joy.
Let's do that. All right, since we're kind of behind the ball on Thanksgiving, you know, that's happening the day after this drops. So that's a little too soon. So this season, DCPC would like to have a Christmas or a holiday, you know, whatever you celebrate. A holiday dinner provided to a family in need. So we're going to look to accomplish that for the end of December holiday season. And if you are a family that could use help, or if you know a family that could use help, then definitely hit us up, discussioncombustion@gmail.com, and we will definitely be sending out a holiday meal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, reach out. You know, you know, if you need some help, you know someone needs help, reach out soon. We'll get that out to you for sure. I mean, I think it's just part of spreading the holiday cheer, so to speak, and anything helps for sure. So that's something we'd like to do. We started that tradition last year. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, we're going to keep that going, and thanks to Jamie and Dustin for coming up with that idea. You guys are awesome. I hope you two are doing fantastic. You know, I could get on my soapbox and do that for an hour. I had a fantastic time talking with you, Kevin. I really hope everybody has a fantastic and interesting Thanksgiving. You know, there's all these things that could happen. How are you going to handle yourself through what's happening?
That's it. It's all up to you. You're in the driver's seat here, folks. And we appreciate you spending some time with us. And we're thinking about everybody out there. You know, hope you have a great Thanksgiving, a great holiday for sure. We're back here next week. We got more content coming your way. So thanks for tuning in. As you know, be good to yourselves.
You deserve it, gobble, gobble.